New Zealand are probably the most difficult team to assess in the build-up to an ICC tournament. I mean, you look at them and say, not quite. And inevitably, they're in the semi-final or the final. I mean, we saw that recently in the World T20. We saw that in the World Cup in Australia in 2015. And now going into the Champions Trophy, you're saying, Australia are in their group, England are in their group. But one thing about New Zealand, they always punch above their weight. So their form going in is not always the best indicator of their form in the tournament. And this is such a short tournament. They might just win one or two and make the knockout. So what have they got in their favor? Let's look at that first. They've got a very good seam attack. Boult, Southee, if they choose not to play the extra spinner, either Milne or McClenaghan, and then they've got support seamers in either de Grandhomme or Anderson or Neesham. So they've got bowling, they've got Santner, who's a bit of an all-rounder, they've got the bowling, but my concern for them is the top order batting. They depend very heavily on those top three. There's Guptill, there's Latham, there's Williamson, maybe Taylor at number 4. And then there's a lot of power hitters down the line. So if New Zealand are 200 for 3, you can be fairly certain they'll power their way to 330, 340. But what if New Zealand are 20 for 3? Can the likes of Anderson, Neesham, Ronke, Santner, these people take them from 20 for 3 to 280? That I'm not so sure of. And that is why a few question marks over New Zealand. They know the conditions though. If there's anything that resembles England the most, it is New Zealand. But remember, this is in England where we're getting 300 plus scores regularly. So the batting will have to deliver. So what are the key players, key components for this New Zealand side? I think Kane Williamson is the key. If Guptill doesn't fire as he tends to sometimes, he's not become the player everyone thought he would be, as indeed Ross Taylor on either side of Kane Williamson. So Williamson is the key. He has to hold that innings through till as late as possible. Then Boult and Southee. If they really get a good patch, good opening spell going, as they did so often in the World Cup of 2015, then they just change the way New Zealand looks. My third key component for New Zealand is that phase from 5, 6 and 7. Anderson, Neesham, Colin de Grandhomme, Luke Ronke, Mitch Santner, 3 or 4 out of those, because they bowl a bit and they bat a bit and they hold the key to whether New Zealand go on and make a huge score or whether they fall slightly short. So I'm going to tempt history again, and I'm going to say I think New Zealand will find it tough to qualify, but if they do, wow, they'll just prove everybody wrong again. This is the team I think will take the field. Guptill, Latham, Williamson, Taylor, Anderson, Neesham, Santner, Ronke, Southee, Boult and Patel.